Hi boys and girls. Today I want to show you how to plan out your story mountain in order to use it for when you go to draft. So, when planning out your story mountain, you want to think about the major events that occurred throughout your story. You also want to think about how your feelings changed as well. So, the first thing I do is I write my major events that occurred on post-it notes, so that I can easily move my ideas around on paper and it's not set in stone. Remember, events are when action takes place, so you want to make sure each event has an action. So here's my story mountain, and this is going to be my first event. So on my post-it, I'm going to write number 1. And I should tell you that my seed idea is the time I went horseback riding. And I ended up having to get shots afterwards. Okay, now I'll tell you a little bit more about that as I write my events. So the first thing that happens would be, let me just write it down. So the first thing that happened was I went to get on the horse they had waiting for me, but it was going wild, jumping around and trying to get the other horse next to him. So the owner decided to put me on Jester, and Jester was an older horse who was much calmer and kind of relaxed. So that would be my first event that happened. And I'm just going to remind myself, I'm going to put it on the side like that, but I also want to make sure that, to double check it over and make sure that there are events, or an event that is occurring. Now, I also want to think about my feelings. So during this event, I was feeling a little nervous. So I'm going to write that in here. And I was feeling nervous because, number 1, I don't like to ride horses, but my family made me go, and number 2, the first horse was kind of going crazy, and you know, the second horse, Jester, he was a little bit calmer, but I was still like, oh gosh, maybe this horse is going to do the same thing as the first one. So I was very nervous at that point. My second event, I'm going to put on this post-it, and we were walking I could say trotting, because really the horse was walking, or trotting. So my second event is that we were trotting or walking down the path and Jester kept stopping to eat the grass, which meant that we couldn't keep up with the group. And so during this time I was feeling very anxious because the group just kept going without me. My third event was when I tried to kick Jester with my boots to get him to move, but he didn't seem to care, and I kicked even harder, so hard that I broke the saddle, or the stirrup, and it left me lopsided and unbalanced. So here, now I was getting frustrated. So event number 4. my event number 4, when I was feeling even more frustrated. Sorry, let me read this to you first. The group waited at the beach for me, and it wasn't too far ahead. Instead of walking in the sand, Jester chose the water, which was a bad move because a wave came and completely soaked me from the waist down. So, again, I am still completely frustrated at this point. My 5th event was So the 5th event, again, frustrated, is when we left the beach. The beach, all of these places, you know, the path to the beach, to the woods, they weren't far apart at all, but we left the beach and walked through the entrance to the woods, only to get whacked by every single branch that there was sticking out and bush along the way. And then my 6th event, number 6, I don't like that last sentence, but I'm going to leave it for now because I could always fix it later. My 6th event was that one bush must have had a nest of some funky insects in it, because I got attacked by these crazy bugs that I've never seen before. They must have been like some native insect there. So they ended up stinging me all over my arms, and I was not only hurting, but